Wadup. So in this video, we are going to talk about, navigation in Next.js along with routing. We will understand all the navigation concepts and understand how the routing works in Next. Okay. So as you must be familiar, like Next follows file-based routing. You can see that I have these routes and all. So let's say if I just go to this example route, we have this example route. So if I open in my browser and let's say localhost 3000/example route, so whatever file name I have given, it will be redirecting me, to that route. Let's say I make a change. Let's say example route. Wait, let me do a small change. 0, 1, whatever change I make, it will be reflected. So this is our example route. Similarly, if I wanted to add one more route, whatever name I give, let's say dictionary dot jsx, and let me quickly copy the same boilerplate from here and paste it here, and let's have this as dictionary route and save it. And if I go back and let's say instead of example route, now if I go to dictionary route, I'll be, I think I have, okay, I just have dictionary. If you don't have the route name as it is, then you will get this 404 page. But if you see here, we get the dictionary route. Okay, so this is very straightforward. Of course, this you can understand well. But when you put brackets, like if you see here, I have username and then settings. So what this means is that whatever you put inside the bracket, that is taken as a query parameter. Okay, so next we'll treat it as a query parameter. So if I give you an example, let me uh, go to some page and let me add an index. Of course, index route is the base route, meaning that if I just go to let me just quickly put it here and keep username, take this out of equation, and this also username route. So if I do it like this and remove this one as well, so if you see, this one is basically, whenever I go to a route, let's say localhost 3000, and let's say I have some random string, which will be, now this random string will be treated as a variable, and this will be, filled in into this username route. So if we have, let's keep those query parameters, yeah, so that we can see what exactly it is. Okay, so if I you can see that because this is within the square bracket, so it will be treated as variable. So whatever comes in, that will be treated as username, query dot username. So if I do it like this and go to this route, so very likely I should be, it says use router is not defined, so let me import it. I think this is the import statement. So you can see that this is, variable. I can actually type anything and accordingly I will get the page location. Okay. And this is the index page, meaning that if there is nothing after this, like there is no slash nothing, then you will get this one. Okay. Let's say if I have username slash settings. Okay. So if I do like this, then this particular page will be rendered. Okay. So here we also have the same thing. So we will do it like this. So again, the use router is not defined. So let me quickly copy paste it from here. So you can see that this page is getting rendered, right? So this is how you can put in variables, and it is always best practice to because let's say you have n number of nested routes, you should always put variables and then go on into the nesting. There is one more way which I don't prefer telling about, but let's go with that also, which is spreading the route. So I hope I'm sure that you are aware of spread operation in JavaScript. So let's say I have something like spread slash and then dot 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 spread params and then dot .jsx. Okay, so here I will quickly take a functional component, spread params, and if I use const router equal to use router, this one, and then if I put const query equal to router dot query, there are multiple methods out of which router dot query is used to fetch the query parameters. And then let me just log this for now, console log query. Okay, so if I go to spread route, let's see how it behaves. Let me open console and let me go to spread route. So again, since I'm going to spread route and since I don't have any index.jsx, so it is, redirecting me or treating spread as a variable. So Next.js is intelligent enough to decide what it should be and accordingly redirects. But let's say if I had an index.js page, index.jsx, and let's say I have a functional component, and here I will say spread root and reload this. So you can see now it is giving me spread root because we have defined a specific, because unless if this doesn't match, then only it will go to the username. Okay, so that is one thing. Now let's say we have additional routes, let's say ABC and then whatever. So if we go to this page, then you can see that we have an array of two elements. So it takes in array, and no matter how many arguments you pass in, all of these will be, falling into this. So you can see now we have three elements and so on. So you can put all of these. But I would highly, say not to use it unless it is very much required, because otherwise you can break it like this username, and let's say you had one more route inside that, then you could actually create one more, new file with the bracket variable and so on. So that will make you more predictable. But because, you can actually extract that particular router.query and then query.username. In this case, what you have to do is you have to do indexing, like, let's say query and then query of 0, 1 to whatever you want to. And this makes a code little bit more unreadable, because the end user may not know what you are fetching in the first place, second place, and so on. And if it gets too much nested, it will become complicated for you also to, distribute and break the code. So I highly recommend using this kind of syntax instead of this. And with that, let's move on to the other things. Okay, so when you navigate, you have, multiple things. So you have, let me write them one by one. Router dot push, you have router dot replace, you have router dot reload, and you have router dot back. Okay, majorly you would be using these methods only. And I think these are pretty much clear how they work. Push is basically, let's say you start from https and, google.com, and then you go to some page which is https google.com slash, and then search parameters q equal to, let's say, uh, time, something like that, any search. So when you do it like this, you have a call stack where you put in these routes. Okay, so when you click on your browser, go back, it will, like if you do router.push, it will push it at the top. Okay, so it will be something like this. Yeah, so when you click on go back, it will take you back to the google.com. So that is what push means. So let's say if I go to google.com, and let's say if I input something, now if I click on back, it gets me back to google.com. So this is what router.push is doing. Okay, now what router.replace will do is, I hope from name it is pretty much clear. So let's say we are on google.com, and then we do this search. So it will, come up, and instead of actually pushing it, it will, replace this one. So it will be like this. So if you click on go back, then you will be, reaching to the actual page. Let's say we have one more, let's say we have https google.com q equal to example, something like this. So now this will be at the third level, right? I mean at the top level. So if considering this, if the operation was same, uh, if the operation was same, then, this example won't actually be added at the top. Instead, it would be replaced at this level. So when you go back, you will go back to the google.com and not to the, actual page. Okay, and we will see this example. Now router.reload is to reload the page for any reason you want to, refresh the whole page, undo all kind of state changes and everything. You can always go for router.reload. Okay, and finally router.back is to go back as it suggests. So if I'm at example page and I want to go back to the google's page, I'll go back accordingly. Okay, so let's see quickly the examples for these. So here you can see that I have buttons which navigate to go to blogs, go to config, go to navigation, and you can see that these all are push. So if I go to the index page, and if I click on blogs, so it takes me to the blog page. I click back, I go back, I press on config, it takes me to the config page. Again, this is also using slug parameters. So if I show you the config, you can see that it is, having all the slug parameters and so on. So, and navigation, now in navigation, we have these examples. So let me go to here, and in index page you have these. Okay, so you have on click handler replace and on click handler. Okay, handler pushes you to the page whatever you input in here. Let's say I input something like this and go to specific route, it takes me to that route. Okay, and if I click back, it takes me back to this page. Okay, but let's say if I go to the same route with replace, all right, you remember how we came here. So let me show you. We came here from localhost 3000. So if I quickly go to our spread ones, so we were here. So let me copy it. Then we click on navigation, it does router.push, right? So if I go to index, you can see that it navigates on click, no, not this one, where is it? Index.jsx. Yeah, go to navigation, which pushes. So we go to navigation page. Okay, so it pushes in here. So this will be at the top of our call stack. So let me go to this, and now it will be like this. Okay, and let me keep these all. And now if I go to a specific route, let's say something this, then it takes me to this route. Again, it is router.push. So, it will push it like this. Now, if I click on go back, this will be popped out, right? So I should go to navigation route. As you can see, we are at navigation route. But if I go with the router dot replace to same route, so you will see that we reach this page. Now since we use router dot replace, it will replace this route and take it like this. Okay. So if I go back from here, I will land to localhost 3000. All right. So if I click on go back, you can see that I land to localhost 3000 and not the other thing which was navigation route. So this is the difference between router dot replace and router dot push. And router dot reload and router dot back, I think that are pretty straightforward. So let me just input something. If I click on go back, it takes router dot back, and if I click right again and click on reload, then it will reload this page. That is it. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to show you is that if you wrap it into an object and keep this as path name and save, and then put query, and then you keep an object of query, let's say filter, which is, let's say, mm, name, something like that, and let's say order by, and let's say ASC, something like this. So now if I go here and put it into values, then you can see that we get these parameters here. And if you, I mean, yeah, that's the idea. If you want to pass in with query, you can always do it like this. All right. So that is all about, next router and file-based routing. I hope this video is helpful for you. In case if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I would love to answer them. And thank you very much.